Hello everyone. Welcome to this video. I am Carla, and today we're going to talk about my journey on teaching yoga for kids. I am not a school teacher. I don't have a strong or loud voice or tone that I can speak and have them pay attention every time I speak. Classes are interrupted. Kids can be dropped off at any time or picked up at any time during the class. It was an open environment, an open classroom kind of. So a lot of things were going on, things that are different from a regular adult yoga class. And with all of that, I managed to have a successful group. They liked it so much. I have them for 8 weeks, twice a week. And today I'm going to share what I did, what I learned. So you, if you are a yoga instructor, yoga teacher, or just a yogi that like to share the gift of yoga to kids, can have an idea on where to start, how to start, and the key important things that you can use for your practice. First thing that you can have for a kids yoga class. Number one, the class plan, which will be kind of similar of what you used to do for adult classes. The difference is sometimes, most of the times, the plan will not become reality because you will have to adjust the class plan to what the kids are needing that day or what the environment is. And also, if you're teaching them for several weeks, you might want to have a program established. So in my case, I had them for 8 weeks, twice a week. So each week was a theme. So, for example, one week was about emotions, the other week was about balance, the other week was about inversions, which by the way, they find inversions so fun. And I think it's because they are fearless or more fearless than adults. They are not afraid to fall down. They're very risky, which is that makes it very fun, a very fun topic to explore. So note on inversions, I invite you to include that to your class plan for kids. Don't be afraid. Don't think that because they're kids, they're not going to like it. You will be surprised. But coming back, have a plan. Don't expect the plan to become reality. Be flexible, have an open mindset, a flexible mindset, and have something under your hand that you can pull out in the case that you run out of ideas, the time runs out. Because also kids, depending on their environment, depending on the energy of the room, they will require faster pace activities or they can be okay with slower pace activities. So number two, give yourself a couple of sessions to know them. In my case, I noticed that kids were not listening when a soft voice like the shavasana voice or the meditation voice was going on. They could really not hear it or they were not receiving it because many reasons, because their environment, they came from very hard and difficult environments where this type of tone is not normal, is not common. So they don't, most of them don't listen to that. It doesn't mean that you have to talk louder on purpose all the time, but just know that sometimes you are required to have a different tone of voice. Give yourself grace to know the group, to know what the group is like, to know their background, to know what their families are like. Most of these kids, this was an after school program, so they were all day out, all the day out, and they sometimes were exhausted, or other times they still had a lot of energy that wanted to pour out. It's just they didn't know how to do it in a controlled or healthy way. So yoga was that space for them to explore those options. Number one, have the plan. Number two, get to know them. And number three, you might want to include things that are not necessarily yoga, but that you can integrate. For example, my group really liked obstacle courses. They liked everything to do about colors, about activities, about competition, about loud music, party-like environment. They were that type of group. So what I did in a couple of weeks, I included obstacle courses in the sense of yoga. So in every station, they had to either do a pose or have a balanced pose and hold it for a certain amount of time, and at the end they will get a prize, and the music was the party like music. They did a line. They really enjoyed that so much that they asked me every week for an obstacle course. They also liked a lot the sound balls. They liked especially playing themselves. So I focus a class on sound balls, and I have a couple of them and have them play around with it. Your success will be determined on what's the group like. So it's out of your control, right? Things that are out of your control, like the group, their backgrounds, their type of energy, the type of vibes, what they like, the type of setting of the classroom, etc. But another very important part of it is how creative are you, or how open or willing you are to be flexible and to explore and to experiment in the sessions. So ask your friends, if you have friends that are school teachers or yoga instructors that have taught to kids before, ask them themes. For example, we did a theme about the jungle, and they really liked it so much. I think that was the theme they loved the most, because at the very end of the 8 weeks they still remember that, and that was at the very beginning. So being that creative, theme oriented, or pose oriented, having colorful things to bring into the room, having them explore with their senses, with their touch, with the sound, the sound ball, visuals, the colors, the activities, all those kind of stuff really helped me a lot. Give yourself some grace. There are going to be some sessions that are going to be tough, especially if you are with a group that, as I explained earlier, they have very difficult or challenging backgrounds in their homes. Don't be afraid to time out if they are not following through. Maybe one or two kids they're not paying attention, they are disrupting the rest of the group. Don't be afraid to step into that teacher role and have a couple of them in timeout, roll their mat, and stay aside, quiet. I know that for yoga instructors, for example, for me, and it was my experience, I didn't want it to do that at the beginning, because in my mind, I am not a school teacher, so I don't have the authority, or it doesn't sit right with me to time out a kid on a yoga class. It really didn't make sense to me at the beginning, but then I understood that if I was not going to have some discipline in my class, none of the kids will follow through. And you cannot sacrifice all the group just because you don't want to take some discipline in your class for one or two children. Don't be afraid to get assistance, maybe an assistant teacher that can give you a second hand in controlling your group if it's out of hands. Now, there are going to be other groups. Every group is different, and there are going to be other groups where they're going to be so easygoing, so well behaved. They're going to be quiet and follow through during the whole class, but maybe not. So be open to explore that, open to ask, open to have some discipline in your classroom, open to be creative, to have other fun things involving yoga, to know your group. And that will be the most important pinpoints that I can share with you all. So if you have another idea that you can share with us, with the community, please comment below. I would love to hear your recommendations. I hope that this was very helpful for you. Thank you so much, and stay in touch for other instructive videos for yogi lovers or yoga instructors, and for other topics as well.